Task-locked accounts are all about efficiency, completing tasks as quickly and concisely as possible to be able to move on to the next task. Yeah, this is not that. Welcome to my Task-locked series. Meet Taskoril, my task-locked Iron Man. This is a series I call Task-locked and Lost. The series where you get to yell at your screen for half the video that I'm doing tasks wrong. But I can't hear you. In this series, I'll be looking to complete tasks generated randomly by the Taskmaster plugin, but with a twist. Instead of being as efficient as possible, I will instead be relying on my existing game knowledge in order to complete my assigned task. No wiki, limited plugins, which we'll get into during the rules section, and no other outside help. I'd say I have middling knowledge of the game, with much more knowledge of the early game, some of the middle, and virtually none of the late game. Will that knowledge help me in completing tasks? Sometimes. But the very nature of a task-locked account has you chasing for items that normal players might never actually go for. Never having played one before, that could get me into some interesting situations. As for my history, the highest I've ever gotten on a normal or Iron Man account is around combat 90, with skills in the 70s to 80s. So early game, things may not be so rough. But as we get into later challenges, I'm sure this will be a great source of frustration. We'll call it entertainment for everyone, as I proceed to kill the wrong thing for hours trying to complete a task. Here's how it works. We'll be mostly following the Taskmaster rule set created by Tedious, but taking a page out of Alien Food's book and not using the osrs Wiki or other outside sources to guide us on how to complete these tasks as much as possible. Now, some tasks will be straightforward, telling us what we need to kill, what we need to do in order to get an item, what minigame, things like that. But others will have me scrambling for hours, killing the wrong things, or leveling skills that don't need to be leveled because I think they're needed for a task. We may even complete a quest or two that aren't absolutely necessary, thinking a monster is locked behind that quest, which will help with our current task. I'll do my best not to do that, but it's bound to happen at some point. Now, I'm fully aware that there are a lot of items in the Taskmaster list that I'm going to have absolutely no idea where to get. Looking at you, Mystic Pieces and Random Metal Boots. And so we're implementing a safeguard to protect both my sanity and your voice as you scream into the void, telling me where I should be getting an item. Once I've killed a monster 100 times, as tracked by Runelight, I unlock the ability to know what that monster drops, but not how often it drops it. To accomplish this, I'll be using a plugin called Loot Lookup by Tommy12. This plugin allows you to right-click a mob and view its loot table. I have the plugin set up so that it will not show quantity, value, or rarity of the drop. But at least this way I don't end up spending hours and hours killing thousands of the same wrong monster, and instead kill 100 of each of a dozen different monsters, hopefully eventually landing on the right one. This will allow the series to progress without being so easy that I don't need to use my knowledge first. Let me know what you think of this rule, and if 100 monsters sounds right, should be higher, lower, anything like that. I'm open to, any input there. Or if you think I should just struggle until I eventually give up on a monster and find the right one by chance. Now, there are a lot of rules laid out on the OSRS Task App website, and I'm not going to go through them all here, nor have I read them all for specific reasons, because a lot of them will tell you the best way to do things, and again, we're avoiding outside information. But, needless to say, because I'm not always going to be doing the most efficient method, we're not going to be official by their standards and by those rules. So on the Taskmaster website, we won't be listed as official, which is fine, because that's not our goal. Our goal is to complete as many tasks as we can, while hopefully learning something along the way. Of course, we'll see how that goes. Now, without further ado, let's get on to our first roll. Alright, the very first roll on a brand new account, fresh off Tutorial Island, right up on the top floor of the Lumbridge Castle here. Let's go ahead and get our first task generated and see what we get. Alright, so we're going to start with an easy diary. I'm going to have to look at what the requirements are here, and then we'll figure out where we go from there. It's a pretty good one to start out on. Karen and Cabos means we're probably going to have to do a quest here just to get over there in the first place, but should be at least a very straightforward one to start out. Let me take a look at things, and I'll tell you the game plan here in just a second. Just pulled up the achievement diary. Looks like we're going to get actually some pretty good skills to start out with. We're going to get some mining, some thieving, construction, herb lore, and some fishing. We have to take a boat to Land's End, kill a sand crab. This is where we're going to start seeing some of the interesting aspects of this. Hand in a book at the Arceus Library, which, normally pretty quick task. You turn on the plugin, it tells you where to go, where to grab the book. I've never done it without plugins before, so that's going to be interesting. Hopefully it won't take too long, but we'll figure that out. Warren's General Store, boat to Land's End, pray at the altar, dig up some saltpeter. All of those pretty straightforward. Do a lap of either tier of the Shazian Agility course. What level do you need for the Shazian Agility course? I'm assuming you only need one, since it doesn't say you need a level, but I don't... Yeah, so Shazian Basic Course level 1. So we're not going to get any agility, unfortunately, though that would have been pretty helpful. But obviously, to start out, we're going to have to do the quest to get over there, which I'm trying to remember the name of. Let's take a look at the map. Map should show us. It is here, and it's... Nope, not that one. Great Corrend requires... What's the name of that quest? Does it start with X marks the spot, or is it... So I think that's just clue scrolls, right? So let's go over to Port Sarim. We'll talk to the guy here who takes you to Great Corrend and see what it says we need to do. And we'll kind of go from there. Once we get over there, obviously, we'll start working our way down the list and get this done as quick as possible. It is a good one to start because it gives us some good starting stuff, but it is definitely going to take a little longer than some of the tasks could have. So let's get started and jump over there and see what we need to do. All right, one task down, several to go. Let's take a boat to Land's End. We probably could have done that while we were still over there, but should be easy enough. All right, back over to Veos. We right-click him and we go to Land's End. And there's our second task completed for this diary. Let's see what we're going to do next. We can go up to the Arceus Library, go to the castle, dig some saltpeter. We're actually over not too far, I think, from the saltpeter. So let's grab our pick and see if we can just do that at level 1. So I just realized you don't need a pickaxe in order to mine saltpeter. You actually dig it with a spade. We don't actually have a spade yet, which means we're going to have to get one. I'm trying to think of where we can easily get one. This doesn't happen to be a spade. No, it's a bucket. We can go to Rimington, which isn't far from Port Sarim. And I know that there's one in the mines there. I think you can just grab it from the... was it a wheelbarrow in the middle of the mine in Rimington? So we'll run over there real quick, and hopefully we can just grab that one and come back and continue on from there. All right, made it to the Rimington mine, and I believe we can just grab the spade here from next to the wheelbarrow. And there we go. All right, we made it back. We got our spade. Wonder if we could have just talked to him and gotten a spade. More digging, less talking. Oh. Oh, we could... Wait, if we just talked to him, we could... Man. Well, that's good to know. See, we're learning already. Well, in any case, dig some saltpeter. We've completed that task. Alright, running our way through the Shazian course. Hopefully not failable, so we can just do this one and done. Do have markings for where to click turned on. I don't think it really adds too much to anything having it on there. I'm not actually sure which way. I'm guessing we have to go this way because I think that looks more complex. I'm gonna guess that's the higher level one. But like I said, I've never actually, well, I have obviously done these on my Iron Man before, but probably once, and I probably already had agility level, so it didn't really matter which one I did. Don't know too much about Corrend. I've done, a fair amount, but it's obviously newer content, so I'm not as familiar with it as some of the other areas. I think this should complete. There we go. Oh, we did get a full agility level out of it. Nice. All right, moving on. All right, we've run out of prayer, which means we can pray at this altar, and that's another diary task complete. All right, so we've been to the library. We're just going to help Villia, just because I selected them first. We're going to try and find the book Transportation Incantations by Amon Ducot. That's going to be a challenge. Essentially, what we're going to do is just go bookcase by bookcase until we find that particular book, which is going to take a while. I'll get back with you here once I've actually located that book, but here's my life for the next probably hour or so. So I went through an entire section. I found absolutely nothing, but as I recall, there's a person somewhere. I don't think it's Wizard. I think there's someone who can tell me approximately where to look for something. I don't think it's this guy. No. Is it Biblia? Yes, I'm looking for a book. Oh, thank goodness I thought of this. Okay. Middle floor, southwestern bay. Alright. That should save me a whole lot of time. The book we were looking for, I don't even remember what it was called anymore. So let's run over and help Villia. And there we go. We have received our Book of Knowledge. Now, do we want 5 rune crafting or 15 magic? I guess we'll put it in rune crafting. A whole 5. We don't even unlock the skill yet, but we've got 5 experience in it. This is a big moment, our very first random event on the account. Of course, we're going to get a kebab, which honestly, normally, not the best thing you could ever get. But for us, we don't actually have any food other than this one set of shrimps that we cooked on Tutorial Island, which I was taking with me just in case these sand crabs beat me up too much. So I guess good to have a little bit of extra food, although, not the most reliable. But hey, we'll take it. We'll take anything right now. Let's go trigger one of these. We should probably only trigger one because, well, they don't hit very often.
Are you sure about that?
They are level 15, and we are 10 hit points. Yeah, they do still hit with 1 defense, so let's see if we can even pull this off. Yikes. Okay, this might be a little bit of a challenge, honestly. It took oh, yeah, okay, that's a problem. We took so long to kill it that he completely reset. Alright. This guy wants 5 coins each for shrimps. 10 for sardines. I ain't made of money here. What I did remember, though, is that one of our tasks is to fish a trout from the river mulch, which does require 20 fishing. So you know what we're going to do is we're just going to home teleport, and we're going to just go fishing in Lumbridge and catch our own fish and cook it up, and then we should be able to get enough to hopefully be able to defeat the epic boss that is a sand crab on this account. Alright, yeah, we can fish at these, so guess I'll show you the fishing levels as they come in. It's going to take a little bit, though, because we are literally level 1 fishing, and we got to get to level 20 anyway, so might as well get that out of the way. We'll get all the way up to 20, and then we'll cook what we need to in order to defeat the sand crab. Level 2 fishing. Level 3 fishing. Alright, there's our first inventory of fish down. I took a look at the map and realized there is actually another range here in town. Hopefully we can use this one next to the cooking tutor. And we'll cook our fish here. Cooking on a range, I believe, will burn less fish, I say, as I burn the first fish that I do. There's level 2 cooking. Should at least get some good cooking levels out of this. Not strictly necessary, but we do need to have some food in order to be able to kill that sand crab. Looks like we're going to burn well over half of our fish here. Should get better, obviously, as... Oh my gosh, 5 in a row. 6? Look, we cooked one. Wow. Wow, that's awful. But, you know, every little bit's going to help. We do need to get to level 20 fishing. There's level 4 cooking. Nope, I just missed. That was level 5 cooking. I will address the elephant in the room. We are a hardcore Iron Man, because why not? You might as well start out as one. I do not anticipate that that will last more than a couple of episodes because I am not that good at the game. But we are going to start out there, see how far we can get as a hardcore Iron Man. When we lose it, we lose it. No big deal. Doesn't really change anything other than the little, helmet changes from red to just gray. We'll just be a normal Iron Man after that. No real penalty, but figured I'd mention that. Let's get back to fishing, get another inventory. There's level 4 fishing. Level 5 fishing. Level 6 fishing. There's level 6 cooking. Level 7 cooking. Level 8 chef. Alright, so let's get our armor from the Iron Man tutor. The other thing that we can do, I think if we talk to the melee combat tutor, he'll give us training sword and shield, which I think are going to be better than what we had. And then let's see if we can claim anything. Well, we already have some in the bank. We'd have to drop them. And then I think we can claim some training stuff. I don't know what the stats are on that. +2 stab, +8 range. That might be better than what we had in the regular short bow and the bronze arrows, I think is what we have. 25 of them. Level 7 fishing. There's level 8 fishing. It also coincides with our third full inventory. We'll go ahead and cook that and see how we do this time. Level 9 cooking. There's level 10 cooking. There's level 9 fishing. There's level 11 cooking. There's 12 cooking. And 13 cooking. There's level 10 fishing. This will probably be the last batch we're going to cook, just because I think we have enough for what we need to do initially. But this will give us 14 cooking. There's level 11 fishing. There's level 12 fishing. We're now a level 13 fisherman. Ran around to the Alcarid side because it's a little closer to the bank since we're not cooking anymore, and there's a level 14 fishing. And here we go, here's a milestone, level 15 fishing, which means we can catch anchovies. So after this, we probably will go catch some anchovies. They, a little higher level, a little better healing. I don't remember how much more it heals, but it'll be good to have. We'll bank these and head over and catch some anchovies up to level 20. We're not going to talk about me thinking you have to go to Barbarian Village in order to get anchovies. We're back in Alcarid, but got a mysterious old man and level 16 fishing. We can now fish mackerel, and let's see. Oh, looks like he's just going to give us another kebab. There's level 17 fishing, level 18 fishing, level 19 fishing. And there is level 20 fishing. That's all we need for now, so we'll go ahead and stop. But when we come back to it, we can fish trout and cavefish. I'm assuming trout is probably what we needed. Let's take a look again because I don't know where I'm going. Let's take a look again. Required 20 fishing. Yep, we got to fish trout from the river mulch. Now, trout, if I remember correctly, is going to require us to get. Let's see. Trout is from rod fishing, which we're going to need. Yeah, it's fly fishing, so we're going to need fly fishing rod and feathers in order to actually do that. We'll have to get some money together in order to do that, which right now we have, I think, 25 gold, so not going to be very quick there. But for now, let's go ahead and get our mining requirement taken care of, and then we'll kind of move on from there, try and get some money together in order to get a fly fishing rod and some feathers. We got that done. Overall, our goal is obviously to get to 15 mining so we can mine iron. We have to do that in Mount Karoom. We'll get there pretty quickly. 15 mining shouldn't be too bad. Gonna have to get 25 thieving. Probably should stop at random man along the way because we're gonna take some damage while we're doing thieving. We do have some food, but might as well, spread it out a little bit. We got to get all the way to 25 thieving. The biggest issue I think we're gonna have. We're actually going to have to do Druidic Ritual pretty much immediately, which is pretty quick for an account like this, because we do need to get to 12 Herblore. That's going to be a little bit of a pain, because we're going to have to get some herbs together. I'm not even sure how we're going to do that. And 25 Construction, that's a pretty high level. So I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do that one yet. Obviously, mining, we're going to mine tin and copper. We'll get enough for some bronze bars together, make some bronze nails, but I don't know how many. It's going to take quite a lot to get to 25 construction, I think. So we'll kind of address that as we go. Right now, I'm going to find the first man I see. I'm going to thieve until we're low on health, and then we're going to run up. We'll probably use the Varrock mines in order to get our copper and tin together, because I think that's probably somewhat close to a bank. I already have my right click set to pickpocket, so we'll get this done and see how far we get before we run out of health here. Alright, we got to level 3 thieving. We're a little low on health, so I'm going to start the mining grind. We're not going to mine the Alcarid mine just because I know there's a scorpion there. I think we can do the one... we could probably just go over to Lumbridge, honestly. I don't want to pay the 10 gold, though. So we'll run up to the mine south of Varrock and see how we do there. And then, at least for the first load, and then we'll figure out what we do from there. We do obviously have some food. I only need to get to about level 5 thieving, because really level 5 thieving will get us access to our first decent stall, which is the cake stall. We'll have to find our way over to Ardoyan in order to actually make use of that, but that shouldn't be a problem. We'll probably use the wilderness lever to get there. Little sketchy, but what are the odds we die, right? We will bank the ores though, because like I said, we're going to need that 25 construction. There's our level 2 mining already. We're going to need level 25 construction, which is going to require a lot of nails. I don't know if we're going to make bronze nails. I'm trying to think of if there's a better way. I know that, only because I looked, if you look at construction here, if we go to other, Mahogany Homes Beginner starts at level 1, so we can do that almost right away. I don't actually know if I need a house in order to do that, so I'm going to investigate that as well. I'm pretty sure there's a spot in Ardoyan where you can pick up Mahogany Homes contracts. So when we go over there for the thieving, I'll check there, see if we are required to have a house in order to start doing those. If we aren't required to have a house, then we can start our construction journey there and just do that. If we are required to have a house, we'll get a house, and we'll probably still do Mahogany Home contracts. I think since you can pick them up at level 1, you're not going to require anything that requires higher than level 1 to complete them, but we'll see. Mining level 3 right there. Only got 12 to go. It's not too bad. Obviously, also helpful because we're also healing up and we can do a little bit more thieving, hopefully get at least to level 4 on the next batch. And there's level 4. There's level 5 mining. There's level 4 thieving. We're only going to need one more level, but we are a little low on health, so we're going to run back to the bank, bank all this, do another load. Level 6 mining. Mining level 7. Level 8 mining. And there's level 9 mining. Alright, and there's level 5 thieving, which should give us enough to be able to steal from, cake stalls, which, if we get over to Ardoyan, we should be able to finish out the thieving levels that we need straight from that. That should be easy enough. Level 10 mining. Level 11 mining. Can now mine with a black pickaxe, if I had one. There's level 12 mining. There's level 13 mining. Only 2 to go. Level 14 mining. And here comes the necessary level for our task. There is level 15 mining. We can now mine iron. Let's talk to the estate agent. Let's see, what can I do for you? Can I get a house? Costs 1,000 coins. See, that's another problem there, is that we definitely don't have 1,000 coins in order to get that started. Might be able to get to 1,000 coins. Let me look and see how much I have after the thieving. I think we only have like 1 or 200. May have to run through the stronghold of security just to get money. You don't get any levels or anything from it, so I think that should be kosher as far as the rules are concerned. You can get 10,000 coins from that, assuming we don't die. Yeah, we have 172. I'm gonna put on our armor, and then we'll just go run through the stronghold of security and get that done. At least have some money to buy our starter house, and then kind of go from there. All right, let's see how much we get from this. If we get 1,000 coins from this, we won't go any further for now. Oh, we got 2,000 coins. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to go back into Rock and get our house, and then when we're in Ardoyan, I'll try and start a normal Mahogany Homes mission and see if we can do that. If we have to do the Daddy's Home quest in order to actually allow you to do Mahogany Homes missions, then we won't do that. We'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way with just world hopping, grabbing planks, and I'm not even sure how many we're gonna need, but we'll grab 1 or 200, and then see how far we can get with the tin and copper we've got before we have to actually make more to get more bronze nails. I'm trying to think if you can just buy nails. Obviously, we don't have a lot of money. But that might be a little cleaner way of doing it compared to skilling, doing, smithing and all that. I'm not even sure what level you need for bronze nails. Looks like you need 4, so we're going to have to at least do a little bit of smithing up to 4 before we can even start making the nails. So we're going to waste a few of our bronze bars that way, but we'll kind of figure out what our plan is based on what happens in Ardoyan. All right, so let's buy a house. Do I want to buy a starter house? Yes. Okay, we're going to need to get a saw, which I know is on the ground here, so we'll grab that while we're here. We'll probably also need a hammer, which I think I have in the bank from Tutorial Island. Like I said, our next stop here, though, is going to be Ardoyan. All right, here we go. We're going to pull the lever. Yes, it goes to the deep wilderness. I'm not going to have it not warn me in the future, even though I'm never going to pull that by mistake, but it could happen. Pull the lever again, and yeah, the web is even slashed where they're quick and easy. So let's talk to this guy, or this girl, Ellie, yeah, about Mahogany Homes. Blah, blah, blah. Can I get involved? We got to go to the one in Falador first. Okay, good to know. We're just going to hang out here for a little bit, steal from the stall. I may bank at least the cakes and stuff. I probably won't bank the bread. We have enough really low-level food, but cakes are, obviously multi-piece, multi-bite. Those are going to help us early combat level stuff. So Yeah, I'll see you when we, start gaining levels. I mean, obviously there's level 6. We got to get all the way to 25, though. Less than half an inventory later, there's level 7. And another level on the same inventory, there's level 8. And level 9, completing out this first inventory without dropping the cakes. Level 10, thieving. There's level 11, thieving. Level 12 thieving. There's level 13 thieving. There's level 14 thieving. There's 15. There's level 16 thieving. 17. 18 thieving. Level 19 thieving. There's 20 thieving. Level 21 thieving. Just noticed that was also total level 100, so go us. Level 100, we haven't even completed a single task. Let's go. Level 22 thieving. There's 23 thieving, 24 thieving, 25 thieving. We can now steal from fruit stalls. 25 construction and 12 herblore. The two that I've been dreading the most are what's left. We obviously need to go over to Falador in order to figure out mahogany homes, but at the same time we can go over to Taverley. We can do druidic ritual in order to start getting herblore unlocked. And then from there, we're going to have to try and figure out how we're going to get 12 herblore. Don't know if we're just going to be killing things to get herbs. I don't really know what else we can do, so that might be the plan. It's going to be a little bit rough because I think they're a little bit higher level. I don't know if goblins drop any herbs. They might, but we'll might have to kill some and find out, since we'll have to kill 100 before we can even see whether or not that's going to work. I'm going to go start Druidic Ritual. I'm going to make sure that I've got all of the quest helper stuff turned off. That is another thing, actually, that I did want to bring up as a question as to whether or not people had enough of the no quest helper with Alien Foods series, the I'm Unguided series, or if you wanted me to also attempt not having any quest guidance, or if you're just more interested in seeing the actual tasking content rather than the questing content to level up, and if that was going to be enough suffering for you all. But let me know what you think on that as well. And we'll kind of decide from there. For now, I am going to make sure that it is turned off, though. At least for these initial quests, it's going to be relatively easy. I mean, it's not that complex of a quest in the first place. I do think that if I remember correctly, we are going to have to kill some monsters in order to get some meat. I think one of them is a bear. A bear, a rat, a chicken, and just maybe a wolf. I don't know. I'll have to see what it says. Let's talk to. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce his name. I believe he starts the quest for us. I'm in search of a quest. Oh, that's right. I need to make sure the quest helper is turned off, which it currently is not. Quest helper off. It's gonna be the first time I've done a quest without quest helper in quite a while. Bear, chicken, rat, and cow. Okay. Construction contract. I mean, obviously the beginner of beginnerist contracts, thanks. Okay, so in Falador, they do have the mahogany homes apparently helper turned on. I'm gonna go turn that off. Tells you what you need. I don't have steel nails though, so you got a little bit of a spoiler there in that yeah, you're supposed to have steel nails. I definitely do not have that. I don't have any planks either. We're gonna have to get a lot of planks. Probably just do some world hopping to grab those off the ground. There's the beef we need. All right, now if a chicken hits me for one, then I know we're in trouble. But I'm pretty sure we're good on the chicken. Yeah, chicken's dead. All right. All right, there's our raw rat meat. Bury the bones, and then we'll go look for that bear somewhere around here. There's our bear fur, bear bones. One thing we care about, the bear meat. Easy peasy. We'll use this, 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 and this. What level are they? They're only level 19. They shouldn't be too bad. We run out and we go up the ladder and we eat as we go because ouch. Sandview, I got your blue meat. He's telling us how to make an attack potion. There we go. 250 herblore experience, which gets us, yeah, straight to level 3, almost to level 4. We can make attack potions, clean guam leaves, snakeweed, and rogue purses. I'll just do some world hopping, grab a couple hundred planks. Should be plenty to get us to the level 25, I hope.
One eternity later.
Well, there's 270 planks. I have no idea if that's going to be anywhere close to enough. I'm going to guess not, but it'll be a start. All right, here goes is our first batch of tin and copper. Going to make bronze bars. There's level 2 smithing. There's level 3 smithing. Here comes level 4 smithing, which is the level we need in order to make bronze short swords, bronze dart tips, bronze wire, and more importantly, bronze nails. There's level 5 smithing. There is 6 smithing. Level 7 smithing. Level 8 smithing. There's level 9 smithing. Level 10 smithing. We've got just over 1,000 nails, 250 planks, or 270. Let's see. Yeah. Sink fixed. Wooden table built, wooden cupboard built, 2 wooden shelves built. Okay, so we can remove cupboard, build cupboard. That didn't even require any nails. Took 2 planks. Table, build table. I mean, that gave us construction level 2 right away. That's not too bad. Repair broken sink. This is probably where we're going to need nails. Oh, steel bars. Oh boy. Level 3 construction. So let's build our first chair as we bend nail after nail. Level 4 construction. Level 5 construction. Construction level 6. Level 7 construction. Level 8 construction. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's level 15 construction. Level 16 construction. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Construction level 22, 23, 24. I had to run and grab a few more planks, but this should give us 25 construction, which is all we need. Step in here, and let's see if this goes better than last time. I mean, we haven't really gained much in the way of levels or anything since the last time. Still level 2. We do have a little more defense because we've got armor, so hopefully that, you know, makes it so we do more damage than we take. Do have it almost down. There's level 8 defense. We're down to 2 hit points left on the thing. Looks like we actually did get the kill, which means we've completed that task. We did get some levels out of it. We're up to 12 hit points, 6 strength, 8 defense, only 2 attack, but again, we didn't really train that during that little stint. Grab that, done with that. Oh, I don't even know if I can get over to those guys, can I? What level do you need for that? Guess we'll find out. I think you can fail this too, can't you? Maybe not? I don't see like a climb up. Oh gosh. Yeah, you need 40 to... Okay, so we can't even kill those. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'm wondering if maybe goblins have a rare-ish drop of herbs. I don't even know. I would have to kill 100 of them before I'm even able to look up their drops. I don't recall them dropping them specifically. I'm just trying to think of anything else that might drop them that's lower level. Usually you don't train herblore until you've got a few levels under your belt, and we just don't. So it's going to be challenging. We may just jump to goblins and start killing them, get the 100 kill count, see what their drop table is. I don't think that there is any on there. I mean, the only other option is farming, but again, that's skilling in a thing that doesn't directly require it, and I don't think the first herb is until 9, and we'd still have to get the seeds for that, which I think we might be able to get from farmers. Maybe I don't even know if farmers give them. It might have to be master farmers, and that's not for another 13 levels of thieving. Um, yeah, so I'll think about it for a minute and see if I can come up with anything. But I mean, I've I've been thinking about it for the entire time we've been doing pretty much everything else since I realized it was going to be a requirement, and I'm kind of at a loss for what's going to drop them. I'm going to home teleport and we'll try every low level mob. So we'll start with what level are goblins? Actually, before we teleport, let's put our armor on since we're going to be. I mean, the advantage is we'll gain some combat levels out of it. Again, like I said, I'm not expecting that we're really going to be the most efficient here just because I'm going to start jumping into things and not even knowing if they can give the item I want. Um, Trying to think of other low level. Oh, I guess we could try man. I don't know what the drop table of man is. I don't think goblins do. I've killed a lot of goblins, and I don't recall goblins specifically dropping them. They're both level 2. Let's start with men, because I don't know what their drop table is. So I just need to swap left click. Actually, I know a good place to kill. I think that the mobs. I'm going back to real specific knowledge that's from various task locked accounts that I've watched, and I again don't recall men dropping, and again this might be a mistake. I don't recall men dropping herbs, but um, the main place I know of, and I've got to be careful here because I'm going to be running through these stupid guards. I'm thinking of there's a house that you can go upstairs in Remington, I believe, that has 2 NPCs. They're named, but I think they just use the standard man-woman drop table. Um, I think it's going to be faster than trying to kill one that's just roaming around because it's a much more concise and like cramped place. Again, might not be the most efficient. Like I said, we're going to use the RuneLight drop count thing to get to that 100 before we're allowed to look at the drop table. I was really hoping to hold off on using this until after I got feedback from people on what they thought with regards to whether 100 was reasonable, if it was too low, too high. I'm guessing most people are either going to be okay with it or it's going to be too low. Maybe we need to do 250. But I was really hoping to hold off on even using that until got that feedback, but seems like we might have to employ that here because I am really kind of at a loss as to what might drop low level herbs for us. But maybe we'll get lucky. I'd like to get to 10 defense just so we can have more armor options down the line. These aren't going to be quick kills. I'm not even actually sure if a bronze sword is faster to kill someone than, or faster attack damage than just straight up punching someone. Assuming we don't get something in the interim. Oh. Okay. Okay. I have hope. I don't know if they drop Guams. If they don't drop Guams, it's completely useless, but I assume if they drop Marantils, they're going to drop Guams. So that might be a save. I still don't know if Goblins are better, or if they even drop them. But again, we'll, I guess, kill these for a while. Hopefully we'll get a Guam. That'll just verify that they can drop them. I don't know what the drop rate's going to be, if they can. But in the interim, we'll gather some bones here at least and get some prayer experience. We might get some prayer levels out of this as well. Like I said, first goal, 10 defense. There's 9 right there, so we only need one more level to get to 10 defense, and then we'll switch up to probably strength first to get that to 10. So that's going to affect more early game, just because we can grab higher max hit, which is going to be more beneficial to us than the fact that we don't have any money to actually upgrade anything else as far as better weaponry goes. We'll do attack right after, though. Get some bronze arrows. Then I mean, all these drops are going to be useful to us. I'm going to keep pretty much every drop that these guys give me, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to leave their drop showing here just so we can keep track of how many kills we've got. I do think we're going to have to kill a lot of these. I don't foresee the herb drop being the most common thing. Obviously, coins seems to be the most common so far, but yeah, with I mean, it's not too bad given that we've only killed. Okay, that's a high level herb. We can't even do that till 54. Okay, so I'm gonna guess they have every type of herb on their drop table. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just check in with you as I get levels, I guess. We're gonna be killing these guys for the foreseeable future to get to 12. Thankfully, there's 2 of them, like I said, in this little area, so it's not too bad. Oh, and there's a clue scroll. I haven't figured out how we're going to handle clue scrolls yet. I know that there are specific rules for taskmen on how you're supposed to handle clue scrolls. You're not supposed to stack them up or anything like that because you can get them on the... I don't know. I don't know that I want to necessarily do that. I definitely don't want to like open them or anything. I'm not necessarily for keeping them and or just wasting them. I also just realized there's a bronze scimitar just sitting on this table, and that's going to be far better. Just going to buy the Eyes of Newt pack here. We're going to have to run somewhere else in order to get the vials of water. I don't know exactly how much experience you get from each attack potion, but these are going to be obviously the easiest things to make to get started. And we'll buy our 100 vials of water here. Let's do this. Alright, let's see what this does. 25 experience for each. There's level 4. Oh, just shy. 1 XP shy of 5. Wow, okay. Level 5 Herblar, 6 Herblar, 7 Herblar. And I don't own a pestle and mortar. Hello, sir. I'd like one of your finest pestles and mortar, please. That's 8 Herblar, 9 Herblar, massive level 10 Herblar, only 2 to go. Just got our first mime show on the account. Let's see what we unlock. We learned the climb rope emote. Level 11 Herblar, and there's level 12 Herblar. It's the last requirement to complete this diary. To go grab a limpwort root, go kill some hill giants for those, or for one of those, and then we'll be able to actually finish the diary and complete our very first task. But we've got our key, so we can get back in here and out of here pretty quickly through the little shed. But for now, let's see how this goes. I mean, they're going to hit me pretty regularly, I think. They got 35 hit points, so shouldn't be too bad. Less than the sand crab had, and they don't reset. So as long as we can heal through their hits, which, you know, we should be able to do, although it's going to take away a lot of our hits as well, using food that doesn't heal that much per bite, but we'll manage. Shouldn't have to kill too many of them. It's a pretty common drop, as I recall. I don't know exactly the number, but I don't believe it's too bad. Hopefully we'll get it pretty quickly, get spooned on it a little bit, finally be able to finish this task before we hit 12 hours on the clock for this very first task on the account. Just restocking our food supply and got our first molly on the account. Let's see what we get. 3 rubies, that's actually a pretty good reward. There's 26 strength and a limpwort root. All right. So it took us 13 kills to get a limpwort root. That's all we need. So let's get out of here. One more thing we're going to have to do, I'm going to go and grab a little bit more food. We got to run through the Stronghold of Security in order to get the money together in order to move our house to Hosidius, because that's one of the tasks we need to do for the diary, is enter or exit, I don't remember which, our house in Hosidius, which means it has to be there first. So and I don't know who's picking anything other than the fancy boots, but they're wrong. Put those on, and we'll get the heck out of here. Right, 8750 to move it to Hosidius. House has been moved to Hosidius. That leaves us with 50 coins on us. I'm going to grab a little bit more just in case we need. I don't think we'll need much more in order to get enough to get a fly fishing rod and just a little bit, a few feathers. Alright, let's buy one fly fishing rod, and we'll buy 50 feathers. That should cover us for a while, and let's go complete this diary. Alright, let us enter our house, which is now located here. There's the easy task completed. A strength potion, which is just Terramin and Limpwort root. So we are in the pub. We'll use our Terramin on that, and then we'll use our Limpwort on that. We don't need to grind it or anything. Okay, easy task complete. Alright, not too bad. There's our trout. Diary task complete. There's the iron, which should
Achievement
complete the diary.
completed.
Right, we completed all the easy tasks in Corinne and Cabos area. Speak to Elise outside Corinne Castle to claim your reward. Alright, let's go do that, and then we can finally get on with our next task roll. Alright, let's get this turned in, and that'll complete our first ever task on the task locked and lost account. Cool. We also got an antique lamp, which I don't think we even have a 30 skill, so yeah, you gotta be level 30 to use those. So that'll be something that's gonna sit in our inventory for a little bit, but we could equip that, which gives us, I think, a +1 prayer bonus? Maybe not. Task list, and we get to finally click on the complete task button. Now we're gonna generate our next task. What's it gonna be? Oh, that's not too bad. And that concludes episode 1 of Task Locked and Lost. Definitely a longer episode than I had planned to make. I was planning on doing an introduction and a quick task or two to kick the account off, and posing some questions to you on how to progress with the account mechanics, but I guess RNG had other plans. We are ending off with a total level of 236 with 20 attack, 26 strength, 20 defense, 23 hit points, and 14 prayer, bringing us to a combat level of 27.45. I didn't call out the majority of the combat levels, but the vast majority of them, especially the ones I didn't call out, were from killing the men and women and the unicorns in order to get our 12 herb lore for the diary task. I did show all the rest of the levels, but just as a summary, we got 2 agility, 12 herb lore, 25 thieving, 25 construction, 15 mining, byproduct of everything else, 10 smithing for making the bronze bars for the nails in order to do the construction grind. We also got 20 fishing and as a result 14 cooking. From the cooking we did in order to do the diary completion, we didn't actually end up using any of those fish just because we ended up getting enough cakes from the thieving grind, but we will have them for the future. We do have a little over 12 hours on the account, 12 hours and 21 minutes to be exact, although some of that was just setting things up and all that. I was definitely planning on doing about 4 hours for the first episode, but again, RNG has its way with this type of account, and here's where we're at. In the next episode, we're going to start off with Temperos. Obviously, no need for a cliffhanger on that. It's a pretty simple task overall. Likely we're going to get the spirit flakes from one of our first kills, and that'll just have us doing our next roll very quickly in the next episode. Now, I did mention during the episode there were a couple of questions out there as far as the account mechanics go. I wanted to see what you all thought before we get too much further into the account. So those two questions that I have are, what do you think of the drop table failsafe? Should I keep it in? Should I make any modifications to the number of kills required to unlock the drop table? Right now I have it at 100 because I wanted to kind of balance between having to use my knowledge with also not gaining way too much experience or drops or anything from killing the wrong thing. Obviously, early on, if I'd killed 100 men or 100 goblins and found out that they didn't drop the herbs I needed, it wouldn't have been that much experience overall. But later on, for example, if we get to, something where I have to kill something like lesser demons, black demons, things like that, those, obviously killing 100 of those is going to add up very quickly to a lot of experience. And I don't want to end up, just getting a ton of experience that way. But also I don't want to make it so easy that I don't rely on my knowledge first in order to kind of complete tasks. So I'll kind of leave it up to your feedback. Let me know what you think with regards to that, what you think a good number would be for how many I should have to kill, or if we should just drop that mechanic entirely and just kill things until eventually I find the right thing. The second question is around helper plugins. Specifically things like the quest helper or other ones that came up during the episode like Mahogany Homes or the clue scroll helpers. Have you seen enough series that focus on those things, or do you want this series to really just focus on the tasking, kind of skip through all the quest content and things like that, or do you want to see kind of a weird combination therein where we try not to use the helpers as well as much as possible? I will say that either way, for the clue scrolls in particular, I'm going to have to use the helper for the majority of cases when it comes to things like anagram clues, just because otherwise we're just never going to be able to solve those. But in any case, thanks for watching. Please give your feedback below. Let me know what you thought. This is my first ever long form video, so I'm still getting used to editing and things like that. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.